What a beautiful morning. To all of those in the U.S., happy Thanksgiving Day. And to all the rest of you outside, just happy day. Have a wonderful day. Have a good carnivore day. Keto day, ketovore, whatever you're doing. It's all good. So, I am going to be really curious what Thanksgiving treats some of you guys might have and what they are. They're going to be like carnivore treats, maybe keto treats if you're carnivore, or just a couple bites of something that you normally used to love. No judgment, I'm truly just curious. So, welcome to the channel. My name's Chad. Been doing the carnivore diet now for almost 4 years. This December here will hit my 4-year mark. So, pretty wild. Like I said, I did a year of keto before that. So here's my Thanksgiving. I've got a ribeye steak. I had 2 of them in there dry brining, and last night my boy came in, who's 14, and said, "Hey, what kind of steak is that there in the fridge?" And I'm like, "Oh, ribeye." And he's like, "Oh," and so I'm like, "Hey, go pick out the one you like and I'll cook it up," because he was hungry. He's not carnivore, but he's eating a lot of meat, so I was happy to give one of those up. We also went out and got some ham. My wife got turkey. I know she has some scalloped potatoes. She bought this big, like, cheesecake, pumpkin cheesecake thing. Again, my daughter and my boy and my wife aren't doing carnivore. I'm not sure what else she's gonna have. She usually likes Brussels sprouts, so I didn't see if those were in the fridge or not. But they're gonna probably have your typical Thanksgiving, dinner kind of thing. Me, I'm gonna have ribeye, and I'll have a few slices of the ham. And I might go ahead and try a couple bites of the pumpkin cheesecake. I looked at the ingredients. Sugar is pretty low down on the list. And again, yeah, it's a treat. I don't call it a cheat because I'm not like, oh, I'm just very curious what I think of it nowadays. Now, I know we can make these other carnivore things. You can take like cream, some cream cheese, and then some eggs, maybe egg yolks and a couple whole eggs, beat them up really good, bake them, and it turns into like a really good carnivore cheesecake with no sweetener. I don't know, I could do one of those maybe this Christmas just for something different, see what the family thinks of it. I often find I don't really care, and it's not that I don't maybe enjoy it some and it brings back these memories, but I find I don't need the memories. And actually, like a ribeye cap or something is so much better, or just some good juicy steak is so much better of a treat for me these days. The other side of that is the time to make these things. I often find I just really don't like spending all the prep time and the extra cleanup time cleaning everything up. If I do once in a while want a treat, and I don't do well with dairy, so I keep dairy way off the list. But the whole ice cream thing, I know that Dr. Kiltz has a recipe that a lot of people follow. The thing that I've found, and I'll mention this again, I've mentioned it in other videos, just take some cream, put it in a cup, put a little bit of vanilla in if you want, put it in the microwave for like 30 seconds, take out an egg yolk, and I'm talking maybe like, say, half a cup of cream in a dish. Take out an egg yolk, put it in there, mix it all up really good, and then just chuck it in the freezer and stir it every 15-20 seconds with a spoon. You can lick off the spoon. You end up with like literally one dish, maybe like a little mixer. I just use one of those little cappuccino frothers, that I got from IKEA for like $2 or something. And my daughter uses that for her teas. She likes this matcha tea, so it's something we already have around. And yeah, I'll do that like once in a great while. I mean, we're talking maybe every 6 months or something like that. And I've thought of making a video on it. Early on, the one thing I did do with those treats, and maybe I will make a video on this, is if you do that and then you put in collagen powder and then mix it up, it's like the cream never freezes to that hard, really hard consistency. So you can keep kind of mixing it around. It gets super cold, but it kind of has this soft state to it that I actually found way better than regular kind of softened ice cream. So yeah, maybe I'll do a video on that just for fun. So yeah, that's going to be my Thanksgiving. Ribeye steak, some ham. I'll probably have a couple bites just to see what this whole cheesecake thing is, because I know it's something I used to really love because I remember getting it before. I don't think I've had it in probably 5 years, because I think during the keto phase, which would have been 5 years ago, I don't ever remember getting that, but it is something we used to get. Just for fun grins of these old foods, key lime pie was probably my favorite pie by a mile. It's what I'd have for my birthday. I just loved key lime pie. Haven't had it, haven't craved it. Again, I know I can make a keto version of it using, lime juice, and I don't know what else they use in there to make it, but I've seen keto versions. But I've never really been even curious to do that, which I think is this great thing about the carnivore and the long-term effects, that I really don't crave these things anymore. And even though I know I could have a keto one and be perfectly fine with it, I just don't crave it. And if even kind of early on, if I did put in a little bit of stuff, even, I should say early on, later in my keto, after I had mentioned I kind of pulled away from those things, I don't like the artificial keto sweeteners. They just leave a weird taste in my mouth, and they just have this weird sensation about it, almost like a cooling menthol sensation I don't like. I don't know, is that sucralose, I think, or something like that? Or I know the stevia is the same way to me. So anyway, key lime pie was my favorite. And then I would say my mom's pumpkin pie, because she made it really super spicy. And then pecan pie. And pecan pie might as well be called corn syrup pie, because the amount of corn syrup and sugar you put in those things is just insane. So those are my three things. So yeah, I would say again, if you do have something, man, I've said this before, who cares? It's a treat. Don't beat yourself up. If you fall into these treats, to repeat this, learn from them. You have three things you can do if you mess up, fall off the carnivore, have a treat, whatever you want to call it. You can ignore it, which does absolutely nothing for you because you don't learn from it. The one thing you should do is learn from it. Just accept you had it. Say, okay, why did I have it? How can I not have it again? And just learn from it and move on. Put it behind you. Don't beat yourself up. The last thing you want to do is beat yourself up for it. Man, it's pointless. You just get yourself more upset, more depressed. That can actually lead to like anxiety and weight gain if you start getting all twiggered about it. It's like a tigger. But anyway, twiggered, my new word, over it, and just say, yeah, I had something, I'm not going to do it again, and learn. The beating yourself up, people do too much. They make videos about it, they go on and on about it. And I'm going on a little bit about them doing it. I know that's kind of whatever. But just don't do it. It's not worth it. I still find myself sometimes going by a cupboard and opening it out of some weird habit, whether I'm taking inventory or something, or I'm just curious, or it was literally so ingrained for me for, I don't know, ever since I started checking cabinets. Say I started checking cabinets at 7 years old. That's 53 years of a habit. It's probably there. Anyway, stay carnivorous, my friends, and a hooey ho.